Good morning. Welcome to Elevate with Tammy. Elevate with Tammy is where we connect with business owners, real estate professionals, beauty professionals, or whatever you are doing in this season of your life. And I'm always excited to bring you fabulous guests who are doing great things in their community, but not only in the community, but the entire world. Today's guest is not just a powerhouse in the beauty industry, but she's a mentor, a motivational speaker, an author, and she is a generational leader. She's leading the young to the old generation of leaders to go to the next level. Get inspired today by her story, her faith, her fierce determination, and her fabulous hair today. Now, this woman is a beautiful woman. She's been my co-host on ProLink Live for many years, and she brings a fresh light to everything. And guys, I hope she lets you know how old she is because she's seasoned. She's aging with grace, but she's making it happen in every area of her life. Welcome to our show today, Betty Clawson. Glad to have you.
I am so delighted, Tammy. And thank you for inviting me. No,
My
I feel so special to be talking to you because you're
awesome.
the powerhouse. That's what you are. I called you a few minutes ago, the minister, because that's what you do. And thank you for inviting me.
For being here. It's always an honor to speak with you. Always an honor to hear the wisdom that comes from your mouth over the years being connected with Beauty Corp. You have made a difference in not just my life, but many lives that I connect with around the world. So thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
right in. You excited today, Miss Betty?
Yes, I'm
Very
really
good.
excited. And you chose a day when I decided not to have class so I could broadcast from home and not be disturbed. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
wow. Very good. Thank you. Because I know you're a busy woman. You wear many hats. As I said, you're a mentor, you're an author, you're a school owner, you're a mother of two. You have made a difference in not just your own children, but many children and adults. And I'm grateful for that. So let's just jump right into our questions that we have for you today.
Fantastic.
And what I would like for you to do is take me back to the beginning and let me know, how did you get started in the beauty world and owning a school and being the leader that you are in the beauty industry?
I'll take you back. I grew up in a little town called Mineral Springs, North Carolina.
Okay.
Dad was a farmer, and
Mhm.
my mom was a mother of many children. She was pregnant 14 times, 9 of us to live. And so I'm from a big family. And being from a big family, you experience everything. I often talk about how mom made us go around the baseboard every week with Lysol. So every week. And because of the things that my brother and I had to go to the field and pay people off when they worked for my dad, they pick cotton or chop cotton or whatever, we had to go pay them. I think that they prepared us for
Yeah,
business.
because Betty, sounds like you were a business only as a child. You didn't just start this as an adult.
I didn't know that's what God was preparing us for. Know
Hmm.
that. But I do know now that if we give our young people an opportunity
Yes.
to actually work with other people, grown people, and feel confident doing it, it gives them the courage to be who God intends for them to be as they get older.
That's good. That's very good, Betty. I'm excited to hear that because I didn't know that part of your story, that you started at a very young age when you had no idea what was going on, but your parents were setting you guys up for success, that you could sow that same seed into other people. Awesome.
Then moving forward to Dudley products, my brother Johnny, of course, you know him,
I
was
do.
working for Dudley, working his way through State University.
Mhm.
And so he had to sell, he's told Mr. Dudley he was going to sell $1,000 and be the first one to do it. So
Okay.
he asked me to get some orders. And so I did. And then he invited me to the meeting. And I went to the meeting, and I walked in that meeting, and Miss Dudley and Mr. Dudley was all about doing things. Me coming from the phone company, hadn't seen a lot of people that looked like me do that kind of business. My dad did business, but it was not like that kind of business. I was inspired. I said, I want a bag. I want to take a bag back to Charlotte. And I want to give some of my neighbors and my friends the opportunity to do this, not thinking that I was going to ever leave the telephone company because I had a desk with my name on it. But so many of my friends did not. So I said, oh, to be able to dress up every day and go to sell and work, they would love that. And that's how I started recruiting people for Dudley.
Wow.
Way, way back down there. And
Wow, McBetty, I had no idea.
1971, 72.
So, baby, 3 years old. Wow, I did not know that, but I can tell you this, Betty. That's what drew me to Dudley. When I first went there, the people there, it was something I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
It blew my mind how these many people who look like me could be on one accord and help make you great too. It wasn't just about them. It was
Absolutely.
about building people. And I think that's what has helped us be successful now is because we've been around that for so long that we have made it a part of our purpose is to help build other people, not just build ourselves. That's beautiful.
I think one of the things that we get from that, Tammy, is what's wrong with everybody else? Why don't they know?
Why don't they get it? That's my thought. My very first time there, of course, people always tell me, you always going somewhere, you always doing something. Man, it's like when I go to Delhi, and I was going every 3 months when I first started, just because I needed that in my life so that I can be who I am today. And I don't regret any of the money that I spent over the years going to North Carolina, being a part of classes, being connected with the Dudley family and all the people that they have brought in from all over the country.
Yeah.
That's what's been powerful for me too.
But
Wow.
it certainly has helped so many people all over the country. And that was very evident when Mr. Dudley's eulogy was
Oh, yes.
last February. People from everywhere. And it
Everywhere.
wasn't just our people. It was people from every segment of business, industry, religion, everything was there because of the message that Dudley sends.
Absolutely. And you have been you've played a major role in the Dudley company for many years. Can you tell us some of the things that you've done to help you get to where you are right now?
I started out as a door-to-door salesperson.
Okay.
And immediately they asked me if I would open a branch in Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, I said, I'll take a leave of absence from my telephone company job and open it, but I don't plan to just because
I'm leaving my job.
I have a desk with my name on it. I wear heels every day. So anyway, that's comical to say that, but I did not think that I could be a good salesperson.
Okay.
But I knew that the story, the message that the company was sending would be positive for our neighborhood. So I took the leave, and of course, I never went back. But the door-to-door experience and working with people and seeing them come in and make their own livings and buy homes and cars from selling door-to-door was just remarkable.
Yes.
And so I moved. They had me to move. We outgrew our first location and moved over to 2020 North Graham Street, which was we were talking about the other day. Somebody said something about a place that was the first in Charlotte. I got to know them because I rented a building from them.
Okay.
And that was a huge place, but it had a big area where storage was, where we could have meetings, and we had meetings that seated over 200 people.
Wow. That's incredible. I know, like, the times that I've come to Dudley and sat in the meetings, it's been like, it would be so much information and so powerful that my head would hurt. When it was time to go, I would have the biggest headache because I had so much power, so much information to help me grow
Yeah.
that I would be like, oh, God, help me. This has been great. This has been great. So tell me this, Betty. Tell me one of the biggest leadership lessons that you've learned over the years and how it came about.
I think leadership, the biggest message I think that have given me the power to continue speaking to individuals, giving them my story, giving them advice, and then seeing them go on to greatness. One story I often talk about, and it's not the only one, but it's one that's just so dear to me. I was actually in a currency exchange getting, I think, some change or something. And this young lady came in and her hair was so beautiful. I said, oh my gosh, who is your hairdresser? I said, your hair is beautiful. She said, my hairdresser works at home. His name is Johnny. I said, tell him to come see me. I'd love to see him. She said, he need to come and get a license. I said, I said, tell him to come see me. And that young man was Johnny Wright. And I said to Johnny when he came in, I said, I don't want you to be like anyone else. I want you to wear the white shirt instead of the regular, everybody else has to wear scrubs, white nurses scrub. But I want you to wear white shirt, white pants, and put a necktie on. I want you to be different. Now, I don't know why I said that to him, but as for 8 years, he took care of Mrs. Obama.
Yeah.
And he's traveling now. I think he's in Europe somewhere today, this weekend. But he also takes care of people on TV and everywhere. But I think, what if I had not said that?
That's right.
What if God had not given me that to say to him? I didn't say it to everybody, but I said it to him. And so when I realized that God gives us something sometimes to say to individuals, we don't know where it came from. And we can't even take credit for it because
That's
the
true.
idea is not ours. We didn't originate it, but we followed what God told us to do. And sometimes that's what I've learned to do over and over again. Sometimes it's a crazy thing that I do, but
Yeah, but you're really good at it. You're really good at it.
it
So
always proves to be the right thing to do, especially when it's not my idea. It just comes to me.
so that's the benefit of having faith and business, right? Because they flow hand in hand. And meeting Johnny a few years ago was just an eye-opening experience for me. He was so humble. He was just doing what he doing what he loved to do. And I did not realize that you was the impact that he needed to go to the next level.
It wasn't me. It was the spirit that was in me at that point.
Yeah. He used the vessel, right? You just happen to be that vessel. That is incredible, Miss Betty. So listen, I know we're talking about students and beyond hair and makeup. What do you do to help students discover their purpose in this business? Because everybody that goes to school don't finish, or they start school and get their license and they do absolutely nothing with it. But then there are those who do. What do you do to help them find their purpose, Betty?
The first thing I do is love them.
Yes.
Unconditionally, even the ones that cause the most trouble. Wow. I love not what I see, but I love who they are.
Oh, that's good. I love not what I see. I love who they are.
Right.
So, because being in that present moment is important.
Yes. Yes. And so you've got to see beneath, as we say so many times, when we can see beneath the evil.
Yes.
You've got to see the good. And fertilize the good, if I can use that terminology, fertilize that. Because if you focus on what's not good, you're only going to fertilize what's not good. So you want to fertilize or pour into what's good.
Yeah.
Reminding them of what.
Because if you don't do that, then you're frustrating them as well.
Absolutely. Think that I see so many educators and leaders do, even mothers in grocery store. Stop that. You can't have that. And I want to just grab them and say, you can't have it today, but if you do, you can have it tomorrow.
That's right.
Just little things like that.
Just basically redirecting without saying no, but the redirection is what's going to make the difference.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. And I know your students have found that to be very helpful because I've, of course, met several of your students who come back. They come all the way back to Chicago just to say thank you.
Yes, they do. Yes. Yes, they do. And
that's awesome.
And the thing that's so amazing about that, Tammy, is I don't know that I'm doing it. I don't know. They feel it and they think that it's deliberate, but it's not. It's not deliberate. It's just what I do, just what I do.
People come to me and say stuff like that to me. You just really helped me when you did whatever you did. And I'm like, okay, tell me what I did. Because naturally, that's who I am. I'm not doing it just for this one individual. God has put that in me to help build purpose in everyone I come in contact with. In doing that, I don't always know what I'm saying because I feel like it is a spirit who's doing the talking, but using me, just as I was saying about you, using me as a vessel to share the love that they need so that they can grow.
Yes. There's two television shows, one called The Shine and the other one is called Chicago Fire.
Okay.
The hair designers that's in charge of hiring hair and makeup both came from Dudley's. I didn't, I worked my students. One Tuesday morning, one came in, the one that's the head of Chicago Fire came in with a lot of roses and brought me beautiful. And 2 weeks later, here come the other one. And I said, y'all, both of you are doing so well. They said, we would not have been where we are had it not been for you and directing us. I said, yes, you would have, because it was intended for you. But I love the flowers and I love them coming back and showing all the students that even though they're here, if they just hang in there and believe, they can do the same thing.
As Marcus would say, don't quit.
Don't quit.
So, Betty, I know that you are an author as well. Do you have an opportunity to share information from your book with some of your students on a regular basis?
Every now and then, I pulled it out the other day when one of my teenage students was changing romantic partners.
Oh, okay.
She was getting, she was changing. And so I pulled out something that happened in my marriage and I read it to her. She said, you would tell that? I said, I sure would, because you may not know why you're changing. But if it is not going for you, if it is not for your better good, you may need to stay by yourself for a while. So yeah, I pull good things out and bad things out. Anything that happened that looked at that time like it was bad, I share it.
And I would say, go ahead, man. I'm sorry, Miss Betty.
Know that my life have not always been a bed of roses.
Absolutely. And honestly, people think when they see us where we are now, that's all they see.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I tell people, you see my glory, but you don't know my story.
Exactly.
If you know the story, you would have a different respect for me. That I made it. I'm here. Because I've been through a lot and I've learned a lot, and everything that I've done, whether I felt like it was a mistake back then or not, it has helped me become who I am today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that's the fact for you as well. And I feel like we should always be sharing that with people we come in contact with because, like I said, they see the glory, but they don't know the story. And if we can share our story with people, they will understand, oh, I can come back from this.
Absolutely.
Come back from this. And so I would love for you to share a story of something that you have had to come back from.
I think the whole thing was, and I was talking to our CEO the other day, and I was telling her sometimes you really don't know why you go through things. Of course, I'm 82 years old now, so I don't have to worry about that. But I had three men in my life that were close to me. The first one was we were teenagers. We didn't know what we were doing. However, God brought us together to bring forth one of the prettiest young angels in the world, Terry. And so that was the first one. The second one, of course, is I still carry his name, George Clawson. And George was such a great role model for Terry and Cherry because he worked so hard. Of course, he wanted a wife. He did not want, he wanted to be the provider. And I was at that time, I wanted to build. I wanted to build. And I was building Dudley. So I tell everybody, he was a great provider, a great husband. I just did not understand that the only wife he wanted was that, not a business person. He wanted a wife. And so that caused that divorce. And then I went to Memphis, Tennessee, selling Dudley products and met a young man that I recruited to actually open up Memphis, Tennessee, Arkansas. And that was my third man in my life. And he was he's a little boyish. He liked all the women, all liked him. And I was saying that about all three of them. But when he left, I said, okay, this is saying to you, Betty Clawson, that marriage is not that's not where you're going to help people. So that was the three men in my life. And I tell that story because a lot of people, all of them were wonderful. All of them served their purpose. But you have to understand what is a bridge to get you from one place to the next and what the road is going to carry you on.
That's good. That's good. You know, what's so funny about that story is that third man that you're talking about, the man who connected me with Dudley and changed my life forever.
So you see why Charles Beverly was a part of
Absolutely.
what we wanted.
He had to be connected to get me connected. I remember the very first time I met him, he told me that I was an amazing young woman and I was really young. Okay. I think I was 20 when I actually met him. And he told me that you are an amazing young woman and you have some great skills, but you need to be around a certain group of people in order for you to grow and become who God intended for you to be. And I'm like, oh, who people that I don't know who these people are because I got a family at home. So what are you talking about? So he introduced me to Dudley products.
I did not know that.
Yes, he introduced me to Dudley. He introduced me to come to the school in North Carolina. Him and Bobby Porter helped me learn how to retail to make money so that I could come to Dudley for the very first time.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
He was a real blessing.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yep. I miss that man. He came in, every time he came through the door, he encouraged me in some kind of way.
He was a great fella. I tell everybody, I said, he left me. So when he passed away, I went to the funeral home to visit with him before we went to the church. And when I got there, the hearse was pulling away. They said they just took him. I said, he left me again. But he was great.
Yeah.
He was a great inspiration for
Good.
me. And I would not have built that territory of him.
Yeah, but people still talk about the delis and Charles Beverly and Betty Clawson in Memphis when I go through there. They always ask me about you guys and what you guys are doing. So Betty is still rocking and rolling in the beauty world and doing her thing. at 82 years, as you have said, how in the world do you keep all these hats that you wear? You're an educator, you're an entrepreneur, a mentor, and you lead with intention. You lead with intention in this role. How do you do this at 82 years old?
The thing that I have to realize is God put me here for a purpose.
Right.
And it's not to just clean house and wash. And He put me here to make a difference for Him. And as long as I am able to do, that's my joy. That's where I get my joy. Seeing young people move into where God wants them to be and where I can see they have the ability to grow too. And so I think that's where my inspiration, my energy comes from, is because I'm not doing any work. I'm doing what I love.
Oh, that's good. I'm not doing work. I'm doing what I love. You can do it in your sleep, huh, Miss Betty?
I probably do.
I'm sure you do. So, with all that being said, how do you stay grounded with all that you are pouring into others and all that you are doing to inspire others? How do you stay grounded? Are there books you read? Are there podcasts you listen to? Are there people you get connected to? How do you stay inspired?
I read all the time. I read not just for me to share, but for me to grow.
Okay.
I'm currently every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock our time, we do a thing called the Abundance Now Study Group at Dudley Beauty College. And currently we're reading Mr. Johnson Product's book called Afro Shame. And as I read his book and I see
Mhm.
the trials and tribulations he went through to build Ultra Sheen product, I can't give up. And when
See?
we read the stories of what people went through,
Absolutely.
how people tried to stop them, how people took things from them, but they continued because of the mission. I read so that I can grow and get ideas to be able to help somebody else. Because at 82, chances are I probably won't buy another Lamborghini or or anything like that. Chances are I probably won't. Chances are, let me say it this way, because I probably don't want to. It-
Because
but
you can.
but my hope is that I can share what I do, that someone else will say, I want that joy. I want to have the joy she have in spite of. Her rheumatoid arthritis don't stop her at all. Her age don't stop her.
That's
It
good.
doesn't seem like she's lonely.
So
So
my question would be that you would ask someone else, what's your excuse?
the only excuse they have is not knowing. That's the only excuse. Because whatever you can believe, you can achieve.
That's right.
If you can believe it, conceive it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely. So in closing, Miss Betty, my last question to you is directly speaking to a young woman or man right now, how can you assure them their path? And what would you say to them to help them know, hey, I'm 82, I'm doing this, you can do it too. What would you share with them right now before we close?
My favorite phrase, and I tell them that this is my motto: be the person you want your best friend to be. You
Mm,
be that person. Whatever you want your best friend to be to the world, you be that person. Because
mhm.
whatever you give out will definitely come back to you, good, bad, or indifferent.
Absolutely. That is good. Thank you so much, Miss Betty. If you don't mind, would you share with our listeners how they can reach you, whether it be your book or motivational speaking? coming to your school, let them know whether your website or whatever you have that you would like to share.
The best way to get me website is Dudley Beauty College Chicago.com. www.dudleybeautycollegechicago.com is our website. My cell phone, and I don't mind giving my cell phone number because I don't have a private number, is 773-255-2977. And Dudley is located in Chicago at 8501 South Green Street. And I'd love to hear from everybody. My Facebook page is Betty R. Clawson. My other page is Dudley Beauty College. And my Instagram, my TikTok, and I have it all, is Betty R. Clawson.
It is wonderful. So you're not just talking to a young woman who is trying to figure out what to do. You are talking with experience today, with experience that will take you to the next level, experience that's going to help you grow and become whoever God intended and purpose for you to be. Betty, thank you so much for joining us and pouring out your wisdom in this space. Your story is true reminder of the beauty from the inside out. It reminds us of the light you shine from within. Thank you again for being here. Guys, if you heard something today that resonated with you, you heard something that you would love to share with someone else, go ahead and with somebody else that will help them grow and become who God purposed for them to be. Thank you for joining Elevate with Tammy, and we'll see you next time. God bless you.